Okay, so I put it out there. On my last one, I said I was going to talk about other ways in relationships to make it more personal for our healing, and right away the universe delivers. So I've been on the phone for a while talking to somebody about stuff they're going through, and they're not the only person. Everybody is going through stuff, and that's why I'm trying to share, to use those stories to kind of show you, so you can kind of, I don't know, it's kind of like drawing it and then putting it up on a wall so you can look at it. Sometimes it helps it to sink in. So, for this case, two people that are, and you don't have to go too much into some stuff, but two people, and they, feel like they are in love, and they feel like they are both worked on themselves and healed and stuff like that. But relationships bring in new challenges, just like, these people who think, oh, my relationship sucks. If I have a baby, that'll fix it. That's going to bring in so many more challenges. You have to work on stuff. You don't jump into the next thing thinking that's going to fix it. But so in relationships, it's just, there's so much gray. So this is, it's kind of like being able to recognize your own self in situations so that you can see a different way to be able to handle something. And so one thing that happens with these, with people in general, is somebody will do or say something, and that will trigger a response in this person. Well, when you're in this more unhealthy kind of way of being reactive, like the lower chakras, when you haven't healed all your wounds, and you're not up in like more your heart center or God consciousness, you haven't moved out of this painful, where you're just reactive all the time. I talk a lot more about this earlier in other videos. I think I kind of go into depth about some of this stuff. But so then when you are with this person, and so somebody says something, when those things are triggered, it's like you're oblivious, kind of like you don't really have an awareness that it is, it's a triggering thing. Like people, when something triggers them, instead of wanting to go in and to think about these emotions and understand these emotions and stuff that are bringing up in them, they'd rather point at this person and say, hey, it's your fault. Stop making me feel bad. Don't do this. This is making me feel bad. And then this person will have, whatever that is making them feel like they're being pushed away. So both people get in this like painful kind of dialogue, blaming the other for their pain, not even realizing is, like I gave this analogy to this person, is you got to think about a person, think about a person in their car. They're just like a little person in their car. So think about their soul inside of their body. It's just this little thing inside there. The body's just out here doing all this stuff, but it's just the soul is just this little energy source, a little battery source in there. And when you're born, all the first people in your life are just, they're dealing you a hand. They're just dealing you cards, because they're handing you off all of the things that are going to be the wounds that you have to heal for the rest of your life. So you get those dealt to you right off the bat. And then you get in this place where you just start going out into the world, and you start building up these walls. So you're building up walls all around your soul, because you got to protect it, because the world is dangerous. It is hurting you, So you build up these walls. Well, there's a lot of people who the walls weren't enough protection. They had to put a junkyard out in front of the walls. The junkyard just has trash, broken cars. A lot of them line their whole junkyard with minefields. Like, you cannot approach this. Like, and the sad thing is most people are in these relationships, see that little peek of that soul come out every once in a while. And they're like, oh, I love you. And then, something hurts and they, back in, everything is sealed up shut, no approaching. And the whole thing is when you are constantly looking outside of yourself. So you're always looking outside of yourself, like, you are making me feel bad. Well, they can't make you feel bad. Only you can let yourself feel bad. And the only reason that you would even have that emotion come up is because someone dealt you that card early on. And you haven't been looking at the hand. You just, you go through a part of your life where you're like, I got dealt a bad hand, man. Fuck. I got a worse hand than everybody. I can't play this game. I'm fucked. And then, people, come up with all sorts of bad patterns for themselves. All sorts of ways of like, well, if I do this and I become this way, maybe these people will like me. Or if I do this, then maybe these people like me. So there are this artificial way of like, well, maybe I can just get people to like me. And then that will change everything. Then I won't feel bad anymore if these people just like me. But all of the people are also have a bad hand. Nobody has a good hand. And so everybody's out trying to find a way to feel better. Find something that's going to make them feel good. And everybody's going around totally frustrated. But the way that you can stop these patterns in your own life is when somebody does something and you think they're making you feel bad, don't go, they're making me feel bad. Go in and say, oh, thank you for that opportunity to bring that up, because I forgot about that. I forgot I had that card. I need to look at that card. I need to evaluate, like, does this make sense? Because as a baby, you can be wounded very easily. It's easy, you're just a soul that's just so raw and real. And, you get hurt over and over and over and over again. And, it's natural to want to protect yourself. It's natural to want to feel good. It's natural to want to feel connected. It's natural to want to feel love. Those things are all normal things. And it's the things that hurt us when we're babies, when we're helpless, are the things that, as you age and as you grow up and you go through things, then, those things wouldn't hurt you anymore. You can look at them differently. So when you get those triggers, it should be like, yay, I got a trigger. I need to go in and look at myself. Like, why am I feeling like this? How is this person able to crush me? Which brings up a whole nother set of situations in relationships when you give that person that ability to crush you, because they don't want it. They don't want to go around feeling like everything they do hurts you and makes you feel bad. So then they have to pull back and be like, I'm not here to hurt somebody all the time. If I'm constantly hurting you, then we need to not be together. And then you have, and on top of that, if you're in a relationship, even some with the same sex, it doesn't matter. It can be the opposite sex, but anytime you're in a relationship, you're going to be so different in how you communicate and stuff. Like, nobody goes into their relationships and start out and be like, hey, let's talk about how we communicate. How should we communicate? People don't even talk about, people will plan their wedding and they haven't even talked about, like, what they plan to do for Christmas every year, or how many kids they're going to have, where they want to live. Like, they don't talk about, like, what they really want for themselves for their future. They instead, try and make it fit with each other. Like, how can we blend this? How can we make it fit? And there just becomes a point when you're trying to fit, when things just aren't going so right, where it's very defeated feeling. Like, I'm doing all of this, trying to be so perfect to make this fit, and it's just not working, So you end up with people who just feel so defeated, like they don't know what to do. And there's so much that can be solved just by stopping blaming others for your pain, and to go in and look at it, and then to just have the realization that is just the cards I was dealt. Everybody got a shitty hand. And you can heal the things that hurt you a long time ago. So you can overcome the things that, why you built the walls. You can take the walls down. You can clear the junkyard. You can, get rid of the minefield. Start out. If you're trying to figure out like how to heal, how to quit being reactive with people and stuff, start out by, to get rid of the mines, detonate them or whatever, whatever you got to do. There's people that go out and beat junk cars to feel better. But whatever you got to do to be able to let people approach you without you, blowing your top. There's so many people who just blow their top. Like, how can you communicate with somebody who, can't hold their composure? So, if you can get to that point of being able to see, somebody is doing something to me, and it's not because they're doing it to me to hurt me. It's giving me an opportunity to see this part of myself, because like I've said this before, but like in life, everybody thinks like, oh, they go to this fork in the road. Oh, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Oh, if I go this way, I'm going to have this great job, but I have to move. If I go this way, I have this great boyfriend, but he doesn't ever want to leave this place. People get themselves in these like things, like there's a right and there's a wrong. There's no right and wrong. It doesn't matter which way you go. You go either way. You're going to still have the same life things that are going to still play out. The same lessons are going to come to you no matter which way you go. There's not going to be a perfect way. Like if I go this way, it's paved with gold. Everything's going to go great. I'm never going to have another problem. Perfect. And if I go this way, I'm going to just be out explosion after explosion after explosion. No. Either way you go is going to be filled with lessons. And the thing is that, if you can get to the point of being able to step back and not be triggered by others, and be able to look at yourself and want to heal the wounds that get brought up instead of blaming others for your pain, then you could also, just a second, let me catch up with my thoughts. I can't. Let me see what I was going to say. So if you can get to that point where you are able to not be triggered by what other people are saying, able to look at your wounds and stuff, you will be able to help yourself feel better. You will be able to go out and have healthier relationships, because so many things about relationships is just this reactive. And being able to get to a point of being able to communicate with people on a level, instead of sitting there pointing at each other saying, you caused me pain, you caused me pain. If you want to be in a relationship, you need to get to the point where you're like, okay, we just brought this up in each other. So, let's talk about it. Let's communicate. Let's recognize what's not working, and let's figure out how we can make it work. And let's both, be open and honest so that we can both get out of it what we want. So many relationships are not built on honesty. But the whole thing is, and if you can get to that point, this is what I was going to say a second ago, is to start realizing that all of the stuff that is happening in your life is happening for you. Your soul designed this to happen for you. So don't be blaming everybody else for your pain. It's your own self. It's your own soul. And if you feel like you've got too much, it's because maybe you had a little ego and you thought you were quite the warrior and you thought, hey, I can take all this on and it will be easy. And you get here into the real life and then it's like, this is way harder than I thought. And, it's real easy as a soul to sit and think, oh, I can do this and I can do that. I'll take this on. Yeah. My parents dying. It's nothing. I know where they go. But you get down here and you get the veil on. You can't remember stuff. And you have to deal with hormones. You have to deal with emotions. You have to deal with all of this stuff. It is all it's like the mastery of life, It's how do I master this? So your soul is made these choices prior to you ever coming here. Like there isn't really, like your soul already knew which way you were going to go. You can feel like, oh, it's a big decision. But your soul already knows which way. That life's already the one that's going to play out. I really do think there is something to it. Like when your soul is up there with all their friends gathered around, creating this life and all the lessons and the experiences they're going to have, that is the creation. When you come into the experience, you're just playing it out in the physical. So you're just there to learn, to feel. What does it feel like? What do I learn from this? And but it's already set in your soul. So don't be mad at others when you feel like life is so hard, and don't be mad at yourself. But just get it in your head like this is just a game. It's not this dire, horrible existence where you just have to have pain and suffering. No, your soul wanted to grow. That's why you're here. Your soul wanted to go through the experiences you're going through. And it's always to give you this opportunity to wake up and to grow and to become independent, sovereign, and like a self-reliant being. To not be able to be broken by someone else's pain. Because everybody's coming from a painful place. That's why you can't base your view of yourself on someone else's perspective. Everybody was dealt a shitty hand, so do I need this person with their shitty hand to tell me what I should do with my shitty hand? No, I don't think so. I think I can figure it out myself. So we all have to get into that place. And then when you decide to go into, a relationship with somebody, then you take that commitment as to when we are triggered by each other. Yeah, maybe we need to step away from each other for a while. But then when we come back, that we give each other enough respect that we're going to go in and actually talk about it because we want to make it better. Not just build up resentment, pointing fingers, always being angry with the other person, thinking if you weren't you, my life would be better. Well, who the hell wants to be in a relationship when that is the general tone? So there's no one person that is failing another person. We're all failing ourselves. And, so in any relationship, like there's going to be a lot of more. I mean, so many relationships have been ending as people seeing like, why have I chosen this? And there's going to be so many more relationships that will be ending. But there's going to be all sorts of new ones beginning. And it's going to be with people in a healthier mind spot or mind place or whatever. So, just don't get all like, but if you are in a relationship and you do want to make that relationship work, you do need two people to do that. It can't be you carrying the relationship. You can't accept being put on a shelf and taken down when someone has time for you. You have to be just, it's an equality. It's a partnership. That's what a relationship really is. And it's getting into a healthy place where you can be that, receive and give, And a lot of people, like they can receive it. Some people can't even receive it or give it, But that's the goal. So the more that you take responsibility for your own feelings, the better you're going to feel. I mean, crazy as it sounds, if you are constantly giving over your emotions to others to fill your cup and make you feel better, you're going to always feel empty because all their cups are empty. So the only way to actually feel better is to, you know, take the responsibility to make yourself feel better, whatever that is. That's a personal thing. And and this is another thing too, is like, for this person, I even asked, like, well, you know, what is your internal saying? You know, what do you think you should do? And they said, you know, I have no idea. But that's another thing, is like when you get to these positions, when you get to these places and you just are not sure, that is the part where you do the meditation, the breathing, the connection to self. So you can hear, you know, and it might not be the message you want to hear. It might be the message, this is going to go nowhere. You keep on sitting here being treated like crap. You know, that's up to you. Or it can be, you need to face, you know, you're the problem. Or, I mean, it can be a lot of different things, but you really got to be open to your messaging, and you have to quiet your mind so you can hear it. So, okay, that's just one. There'll be some more. Now, that one was just handed right away. And, you know, hopefully that helps people to be able to see, like, these kinds of things in relationships. You know, it will get you nowhere blaming someone else for your pain. It definitely won't get you a healthy relationship. So anyways, have a great day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.